When people talk about Vancouver, BC, it's often described as a world-class city known for its stunning landscapes, vibrant culture, and as a dream destination for many. It's a place where nature and urban life come together in harmony. Imagine a city on the Pacific coast where you can enjoy the ocean and the mountains all in one day. It's the perfect place for outdoor adventures or exploring the city. It really has something for everyone. However, in recent years, there's been a noticeable trend of people moving away. But why? Stick around to find out, because today we're going to be diving deeper into this topic to find out why it's been making headlines so much lately. Back in 2022, Vancouver witnessed a significant outflow of its residents. According to a report by the Financial Post, approximately 14,000 Vancouverites left the city out of a population of around 670,000. To add to that, a substantial portion of those who remain are seriously considering leaving the region. So in this video, we're going to explore why this is happening and what's driving people away from this picturesque city. If you're considering moving to Vancouver or just curious about the reasons behind this trend, stick around till the end of the video, because a few of the points towards the end may surprise you, as they're things that are often overlooked but worth discussing. And with that, let's get started. First of all, let's talk about the employment opportunities. Vancouver has a strong economy with a variety of job types and chances for success. But not every job in Vancouver is easy to get. Some jobs are more difficult than others because they're in such high demand. This can be tough, especially for people who are new to the city and looking to get a good job fast. This intense competition can be daunting, especially for newcomers or those looking to climb the career ladder quickly. The city's high cost of living adds another layer to this challenge. Even with a decent salary, the expenses associated with living in Vancouver can eat into your earnings significantly. This financial pressure has prompted individuals and families to consider relocating to cities where the salaries stretch further and the cost of living is more manageable. But it's not just about the cost of living. When it comes to maximizing income and career growth, Vancouver might not always be the best bet. Other cities across North America, such as Calgary, Toronto, Seattle, and Houston, are often cited as places with more vibrant job markets in various industries. These cities are known for their dynamic economies and might offer better opportunities for career advancement and financial growth. Additionally, if you look at the average income compared to home prices across other Canadian cities, Vancouver falls behind many. Several of which the average income alone is greater than that of Vancouver, such as Calgary, Edmonton, Hamilton, and Ottawa, just to name a few. Vancouver does have its strengths though, with promising sectors like healthcare, tech, film, real estate, law, and entrepreneurship. However, the city's economy doesn't dominate any particular industry on a large scale. This means that while there are opportunities, they may not be as abundant or as lucrative as they are in economies that are powerhouses in those specific sectors. For those whose main goal is to boost their income or fast-track their career, exploring job markets outside of Vancouver can be a wise decision. With more remote jobs opening up than ever before, there are more opportunities out there than ever. It's about finding the right balance between career opportunities, quality of life, and financial well-being. While Vancouver offers a stunning backdrop and a high quality of life, the quest for better employment prospects elsewhere is a practical and often necessary step for many. Next up is the cost of living. Living in Vancouver comes with a price tag that's notably higher than in many other cities across Canada. This makes it one of the country's most expensive places to call home. And the primary factor behind the steep cost of living? The housing market, of course. Whether you're looking to rent a cozy apartment downtown or buy a modest family home in the suburbs, the prices can be eye-wateringly high. This issue stems from a combination of limited available land for new developments and a continuously high demand for housing in the city. As you likely know, Vancouver is landlocked, surrounded by water and mountains. And at this point in time, pretty much the only place you can go is up. And what's the result of this? Well, prices for both renting and purchasing properties have soared to levels that many residents find unsustainable on an average income. The challenge of affording housing in Vancouver doesn't stop at just the purchase price or rent. Additional living expenses such as groceries, transportation, utilities, and childcare further contribute to the city's high cost of living. When you combine these costs with the expensive housing, it becomes clear why many find it tough to manage their finances efficiently in Vancouver. For families, the impact is even more pronounced as they navigate the costs of raising children in an expensive urban environment. However, inflation over the past couple of years hasn't solely impacted Vancouver on its own, as we've seen a drastic increase in prices of just about everything across the country. Not to mention the recent increases in interest rates, which directly impacted many homeowners homeowners and indirectly many renters, as rents have only increased alongside everything else. So while we're all feeling the pain of increased prices, it's the housing costs that have the biggest impact here. This financial pressure has significant consequences for the city's residents. Young professionals, families, and even longtime residents are increasingly considering their options, with many choosing to relocate to more affordable communities. On top of that, the high cost of living in Vancouver isn't just a personal financial issue. It's a broader social concern that affects the diversity and vibrancy of the city. As a cost barrier pushes out a range of income groups, the city risks becoming less accessible to the very people who contribute to its dynamic culture and economy. This is a concern you hear about often, as it's becoming increasingly difficult for many of the people who are so important to the city, ranging from teachers to servers to healthcare professionals and so on. And while the government does provide some level of affordable housing for people with certain types of jobs, there's not nearly enough for everyone. And this gives individuals in these positions some tough choices. Do you stick around and scrape your way by, move out to the suburbs and make the commute on a daily basis, or just go somewhere else to fill the same role at the same pay but at a much higher quality of life? Many are choosing the latter, and without having people filling these important roles, you have to wonder what that means for the future of Vancouver. Next up, something that I've already briefly touched on is the real estate and rent prices. Vancouver's real estate and rental markets are among the most challenging aspects of living in the city. The high cost of living is most significantly influenced by the expensive prices of buying or renting a home here. The situation is primarily due to the intense competition driven by high demand and a limited supply of affordable housing options. As one of Canada's most desirable places to live, Vancouver attracts a lot of interest, but the availability of homes doesn't keep up with this demand, leading to soaring prices. And the prices aren't just kind of high, they're the highest across all of Canada in terms of both purchase price and rent. For many trying to buy a home, the Vancouver market can seem almost impenetrable. Prices for both houses and condos are among the highest in the country, putting the dream of homeownership out of reach for the average person or family, unless they're lucky enough to get a massive inheritance from family. The situation isn't much better for renters either. Rental rates in Vancouver are also among the highest in Canada, with the demand often outstripping the supply, leading to competitive rental markets where prices continue to rise. Even with caps on raising annual rental rates in BC, this hasn't done much to prevent prices from continuing to rise rapidly. This imbalance in the housing market forces residents to make tough choices. For some, it means looking for housing in the suburbs or neighboring cities where real estate and rent prices are more affordable. This decision often comes with the trade-off of longer commutes and less access to Vancouver's amenities and lifestyle. Some of the popular suburbs that we're seeing Vancouverites make their way to are places such as Surrey, Langley, and Maple Ridge, all of which offer a more affordable cost of living, allowing individuals and families to stretch their budgets further while enjoying a quality lifestyle. With the benchmark home prices in Surrey and Langley between 20 to 40% cheaper depending on the product type in comparison to Vancouver, and in Maple Ridge between 30 to 50% cheaper, it's no surprise that people are moving to the surrounding areas. Plus, those who have owned a home in Vancouver for a reasonable period of time are able to cash out big time when they sell, and they can still buy a beautiful home at a massive discount while stashing away a good chunk of change at the same time. With many people relying on the equity in their homes to fund their retirement, it's only a matter of time as to where and when they go. The high real estate and rental prices also impact the demographic composition of the city, with young professionals, families, and lower income individuals finding it particularly difficult to afford living in Vancouver. This has led to a broader conversation about housing affordability and what can be done to address the issue. But unfortunately, it's still a work in progress. And you might be wondering, but what about those who don't find home prices and the cost of living to be a challenge? Well, many of them are leaving too. But why? While Vancouver is known for its beauty, array of outdoor activities, and mild weather compared to the rest of Canada, it also has its challenges. The city faces significant issues with homelessness and crime, which has only been exacerbated over the past couple of years. Based on a report from late last year, the number of homeless individuals is up a whopping 32% from 2020. The area where this is most apparent is around Main and Hastings on the downtown east side. The visible homelessness problem here is due in large part to the high cost of living, limited mental health services, and the appealing climate of the city. But if you've been in the area as of late, you can now see how much further into the city that it's spread, even trickling into parts of Gastown. While serious violent crimes are uncommon, there is a prevalent issue with minor offenses like car break-ins and bike thefts that make residents feel less secure and content. The root causes of these issues are complex, involving economic disparity, gaps in social services, and issues with addiction. Addressing them requires a combined effort from government, community organizations and citizens focusing on providing affordable housing, improving mental health support, and enhancing crime prevention measures. The City of Vancouver is working towards solving these problems, but it doesn't seem to be making any noticeable difference, at least not yet. Further efforts to mitigate these challenges will also require expanding social and health services and community policing initiatives. However, progress demands new, sustained approaches to ensure Vancouver remains a welcoming, safe city for everyone. The city's struggles with these issues show that we need a well-rounded plan that deals with both the symptoms and the root causes of homelessness and crime. But for the time being, it's not looking so great. Another reason why people are leaving is the weather. While the city boasts breathtaking natural scenery and a vibrant urban lifestyle, its climate is marked by distinctive seasonal patterns that play a significant role in the overall living experience. But there is one thing the city is known for, and it stands above all else: rain. The most recent data shows that Vancouver gets rainfall on an average of nearly 50% of its days. You heard that right, nearly 50%. This has earned the city its nickname of Raincouver, also sometimes referred to as the Wet Coast. Vancouver's reputation for rainfall is well deserved, particularly during the fall and winter months. Rainfall is a frequent occurrence, and overcast skies often dominate the city skyline, casting a gloomy gray hue over daily life. This extended period of darkness can be challenging for many residents, affecting not only their mood but also their motivation. The lack of sunlight, which is known to influence the body's production of mood-regulating hormones, can contribute to a condition known as seasonal affective disorder, or SAD for short. Individuals susceptible to SAD may experience symptoms of depression and reduced energy levels during the darker months. This can pose a massive challenge to those most impacted by it, especially if they're already struggling with something else. And while Vancouver's rainy reputation precedes it, the city does have its bright side. Summers in Vancouver are without a doubt beautiful. Warm, sunny days encourage residents to explore the outdoors, whether it's hiking in the nearby mountains, lounging on the city's picturesque beaches, or simply enjoying the numerous parks and recreational activities. This contrast between the rainy winters and sunny summers provides a unique rhythm to life in Vancouver. However, for those considering a move to the city, it's crucial to weigh the pros and cons of its climate. Vancouver's extended periods of rainfall and limited sunshine during the winter can be a significant adjustment for individuals accustomed to drier or sunnier climates. It's essential to assess whether you can adapt to the long, wet winters and explore strategies to mitigate the potential impact on your mood and motivation, such as embracing outdoor activities during the sunny months or investing in light therapy to combat seasonal affective symptoms. So if you are considering moving to Vancouver, just take a deeper dive into the weather itself. Another challenge Vancouver faces is the traffic. Traffic congestion is a common problem in big cities, and Vancouver is no exception. The city's growing population, coupled with its status as a sought-after tourist destination, has led to significant challenges in transportation and commuting. The density of Vancouver's urban landscape, particularly in the downtown core, contributes to the congestion issue. Narrow streets and limited space for road expansion make it difficult to accommodate the increasing number of vehicles on the road. Additionally, the ongoing construction across the city of new towers and other projects leads to lane blockages and traffic stops, only making things worse. As a result, residents often find themselves in lengthy traffic jams during peak hours, leading to stressful and time-consuming commutes. The popularity of Vancouver as a tourist destination further adds to the congestion problem. Visitors flock to the city year-round to explore its natural beauty, cultural attractions, and vibrant neighborhoods. While this tourism bolsters the local economy, it can create additional traffic bottlenecks, especially in the popular areas for tourists. For residents, the daily struggle with traffic congestion can be a significant deterrent. Long commute times can eat into personal time and lead to increased stress levels. This issue is particularly challenging for those who must travel significant distances for work or other commitments, especially if headed outside of the city. Efforts to address the traffic congestion in Vancouver include investments in public transportation, bike infrastructure, and the promotion of carpooling. The city also encourages the use of sustainable modes of transportation to alleviate the strain on roadways. For those who both live and work downtown, many of these people choose to walk or cycle if their work is nearby, but others who aren't as lucky and don't drive are faced with jam-packed SkyTrain cars and buses. This also poses a perfect segue into the next reason why people are choosing to leave Vancouver, and that's to pursue a slower pace of life. While Vancouver's bustling urban scene offers excitement and opportunities, it also prompts some residents to seek a change in lifestyle. The desire for a quieter, slower-paced life is a common motivator for those choosing to leave the city in search of a more serene and relaxed existence, especially those looking to settle down and start a family or who have already started. Smaller towns and rural areas are attractive to people who want to escape from the hustle and bustle of city life. These areas often offer a different quality of life characterized by reduced stress, less noise, and a closer connection to nature. The chance to leave the hectic city life behind and live in a quieter and more peaceful place can be very appealing, especially when you add all the other factors I've already discussed into the mix. Another closely related factor that influences this decision is space and crowding. Vancouver, as a densely populated city, can sometimes feel cramped with limited personal space, both in terms of housing and public areas. Residents seeking more room to breathe and live more comfortably may choose to move to areas where they can enjoy larger homes, spacious yards, and less crowded public spaces. Imagine trading your cramped up condo for a spacious townhome or detached home with a yard. No need for traveling up and down elevators every time you need to leave the house. Just open up your front door and away you go. The appeal for a slower paced life extends beyond just physical space. It often includes a desire for a stronger sense of community and a lifestyle that prioritizes work-life balance. Smaller communities can offer a sense of belonging and connection that can be harder to find in a larger bustling city. As for others, some don't like being around people at all and opt for a bigger piece of land where they can have their privacy. If this sounds like you, then you'll definitely want to make your way out into the valley where this is much more easily achievable. It's important to note that the decision to leave Vancouver for a quieter lifestyle is a personal one and reflects individual preferences and priorities. For some, the allure of the vibrant urban center is irreplaceable, while for others, they find the calm and open spaces of a smaller town more appealing, and thus eventually leads them to the thought of relocation. Next up is another one of the major factors that's causing people to leave, and that's having a family. So this includes both families who already have children, as well as those who plan on having kids but either can't afford it or don't feel that they're currently in a position that's ideal for raising a child. For those who are already parents and families in Vancouver, finding quality childcare and engaging family activities can be challenging. One of the most pressing concerns for parents in Vancouver is securing childcare. The quest in finding a spot in daycare can be extremely competitive and, not to mention, financially demanding. Parents often find themselves contending with lengthy waiting lists and steep costs, making it a considerable challenge to find suitable childcare for their little ones. The high demand for childcare services highlights the need for accessible and affordable childcare options in the city. Enrolling children in public schools can also present itself as a challenge due to overcrowding. Vancouver's growing population has led to an increase in the number of students, straining the capacity of local schools. This can result in longer waiting times for enrollment, leaving parents with limited options and uncertainty about their child's education. The availability of children's activities and programs can be another source of frustration for parents. Finding activities and programs for children can also be frustrating because there's more demand than supply. Popular programs are hard to get into, so parents might have to look elsewhere or travel to nearby areas for suitable activities. These challenges often negatively affect the quality of life for families in Vancouver, as parents have to balance work and family while dealing with limited childcare and activity options. It also makes it more difficult for families who are wanting to have a stay-at-home parent or take additional time off in the first couple of years after having a child. It's rare that both parents don't work these days, as the financial demand is so much greater than it was in the past. So if that's the approach and something that you're interested in doing, you should definitely look into whether or not it's going to be feasible based on your family's financial situation. In conclusion, while Vancouver is undoubtedly a beautiful and vibrant city, it does come with its fair share of challenges. The decision to live in Vancouver should be based on careful consideration of both its positive and negative aspects. However, I strongly suggest that before you make a decision, you consider all your options. If you'd like to discuss what your options are in regard to Vancouver's suburbs so that you can make a well-informed decision and see what else the Lower Mainland has to offer, then scroll down and hit the first link in the description to book a call with me at a time that works best for you. Thanks so much for watching. Before you get out of here, make sure you check out another video on our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.